And we're back.
Yay!
Thanks so much for joining us. We are going to continue this adventure titled What Lies Beneath. And when we last left our adventurers, they were both, they had split the party. Not often an advisable thing to do, but they're just going to roll with it, and I'm so proud of them for trying. Uh, the halfling Alton Brightmoon is going to go to what is called a Fey Lounge, which is a legitimized place for the Fey races of Twin Harbor to go and take these eye drop kind of drugs that let them see into the Feywild. The party had a meeting, a rendezvous established with their mysterious employer that they've been working with at this Fey Lounge at midnight. So Alton is like staking the place out, while Eridu and On are going to another place, a tavern on the eastern docks called the Bottle and Blade, to meet a mysterious dwarf named Darius Buffo, who promises to have a job for them, promises to have some kind of information for them. And let's go ahead and start with Alton first. You walk into the Fey Lounge. It is dark. It is smoky with incense and all sorts of pungent smells.
Okay.
And you see there are benches. They're like kind of like rough cots, but they have enough padding on them, and you've got several elven looking types, some half elves, mostly elves of all kinds of like walks of life. They're all here, and a lot of them are just laying on their backs, looking up as if like they could be looking into the starry night sky if there weren't a roof in front of them.
Right.
Um, and they're all just relaxing. It's a very quiet, peaceful place. And if you care to walk up to what serves as the front desk, there is a very old, wizened elf who has a really croaky voice that it's like he's just got this huge frog in his throat all the time. And he says, "Oh, you're a tiny one."
Um. So, and remember, this is a one-on-one conversation, so it goes telepathically automatically for
Uh-huh.
him. And he goes, "You're a big one. I'm here to meet my friends. Apparently, I showed up a little bit early. Do you mind if I sit in the corner, maybe get something to drink?"
Haven't had one of you here for a while. That's fine.
Okay.
His eyes are drooping. He even like maybe he's got some like crusty like I don't know little crystal something going on in the
Right.
corners of
Right.
his eyes, and he just waves you on, and it looks like he's bustling about trying to get you some sort of drink or some sort of something while you wait.
I take a table within 30 feet of him, or of the bar, should I say. Um, but that's like off, like basically, if I can triangulate an area that's off to the side, unnoticeable, but still preferably within 30 feet of him, so I can order a drink without having to like move about and become more noticeable.
Very well.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, what will happen is every now and then the bartender will just come out to give me a drink, and no one will think twice about it.
Getting drunk. Okay, cool.
I didn't say getting drunk.
Just ordering drinks.
No, that's just me.
Ordering drinks, like kind of
It's very
slowly
different.
milking them.
Ordering
Yeah,
drinks, getting drunk, very different.
right, right. He is
Okay.
there to blend in. He's got a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was totally envisioning more like a Mission Impossible, bracing yourself against ceiling beams, sort of scoping the place out. But no, you're going full like James Bonding it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I totally had a spider do that. Mission Impossible. Just coming down from my ceiling, and I'm like, "Hey man, are you just gonna hover at the bottom there? Don't sweat." Sorry, I
Okay.
said ceiling, but he came down from like the top floor.
Uh huh.
You know, all the other names were coming up for ceiling in the chat.
For sure. All right. So, going over to you two punks. You walk.
Hey now.
You walk into the Bottle and Blade, and it is a completely different atmosphere than the one I just described in the Fey Lounge. It is raucous. It is rowdy. It looks like there are some, let's say, lusty young sailors in the house trying to prove their worth and prove their manliness. Looks like there's some friendly sparring going on in the corner. Plenty of drinking games. And through all the chaos, you almost don't see a cloaked, dwarvish-looking, statured figure in the corner, subtly beckoning you over.
Is that Darius?
I do not know. He's wearing a cloak.
Perhaps we should go over and say hello.
I mean, we could go do some sparring with these sailors over here.
We could, although I have, over the last few months, especially under the tutelage of Okrim, become a master of deciphering body language and knowing what people mean without them vocalizing such intentions. And I
Oh.
believe that the gesture that this cloaked figure is performing over in the corner is indicative of the fact that he wants us to go and join him.
You are a keen observer of social interactions. I do not know what I would do if it was not for you. Maybe we should go speak with this cloaked short figure and see if it is this Darius we see.
I shall clasp a hand on Eridu's shoulder and give him a knowing and stern look. It is quite all right, Eridu. I shall teach you. You shall be my pupil. And then we'll go over and...
It is an honor.
Wow.
So yes, I'll wander over to this cloaked figure.
All right.
I'll look around for a stool for a moment, pull one out, and hesitate. Look at him and go, I don't mean to embarrass myself in front of my friend, but I am correct. You did want us to come over and sit here, right?
Yes. And he pulls off the cowl of the cloak, and he indeed is the Darius Buffo that you had met earlier. And he says, my fine elven friends, I would like you to sit.
Wonderful.
Your
Eridu, come, let's sit.
Yes.
your small companion is not joining us.
Eridu, where is Alton this fine evening?
I assumed you meant me as the small companion.
Ah,
I am shorter than you. Well, not shorter than you.
I meant your halfling fellow, the odd one.
Oh. Yeah, he had to go see a man about a dog. Or a wolf.
I see. Just rolling dice. Just
Would
so
you
looks-
like me to roll my own dice?
No.
Okay.
That just
Apparently
means
that
I'm
was unnecessary.
that's unnecessary. I'm just suspicious of you now. That's what that die says.
To be fair, Eridu was very rude to this guy the last time they met. I expect him to be suspicious.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I mean, really rude. He was a dick. Eridu, not Darius. Darius
Yeah.
is just a
Mhm.
shifty criminal type.
Yeah. Well, in any case, I'm glad the two of you are here.
Yes.
Hmm.
I am too.
May
And
I?
I will aptly put my attention on the men in the corner sparring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
They're
hoping they're wrestling.
they are wrestling. They're very sweaty, Asa.
No, just Eridu.
Wait, what? Oh. They're very sweaty, Eridu. Okay.
Well, I mean, they're
Yes.
very sweaty Asa as well, but that's a different
Y-
story.
yeah. Yeah. So,
That's
Dar-
just my natural state of being.
Darius says to both On and Eridu, "May I get you a drink? This is gonna. Hmm, you might take it a little better with some drink."
I do believe at this point I should refrain from any more alcohol, but thank you.
Very well. In that
Well,
case,
we did imbibe quite a bit before we came, but perhaps a light libation, something to wet the palate, so to speak.
ah,
I believe a tea will do me.
I see.
Sounds charming.
He flags down a server. They eventually bring you out something.
Alan, what are you doing here?
Alan is not here. The wait staff is much more surly. And Darius says to you, "This is going to be very uncomfortable news for you, but you are being manipulated pretty shamelessly. And I'm surprised that you folks... I thought you had it much more together. Yeah, you're being led around by Garth of all people."
No.
Knew it.
There's,
So,
there's no way. Garth is such a trustworthy person.
I began to suspect, Eridu, as I am sure you do at this point, that perhaps Garth was involved in less scrupulous activities. It's good to see that my suspicions were meted out. I feel very intelligent right now.
As,
On, you are
as I'm
quite
sure
an
you are.
intelligent person. You have seen through all of these manipulations by this Garth fellow. You are so very intelligent.
But I can't quite figure out how he's done it. Ooh, perhaps Garth has taken control of the children that Emily
Darius,
died.
what does Garth have to do with the guilds? I am aware that he has met with them. I am aware that he is in connections with the undergoings of the city's politics. And I am aware that he has willingly allowed for the Takentire as well as the dwarves to establish some form of hold in different parts of the city, as well as implemented a guard, something that was not part of the original structure of the harbors. You're right. We are all being manipulated. Now what the hell is going on?
What the hell is going on is that Garth has set up a sting for you guys. So I hope your little friend didn't go too far in the other direction on the docks. Because Garth... he's led you along this path to set up a trap for you. If you had gone to your other rendezvous point, you would have been captured.
Why would Garth have any reason to set us up? No, I understand me. I have stepped on the wrong side of Garth very recently. But On and Alton were not part of that.
I can't pretend to know what Garth's motives are. I just have the information that I have. And I have a vested interest to keep you guys out of jail, helping me, hopefully, and not falling into some trap that Garth is going to set for you.
Perhaps Eridu Garth simply wants Alton and myself as collateral damage. If he truly does despise you, and you have poked the bear with the stick, so to speak. This is another one of those things that Okram taught me.
Say it.
And
Say
as
One of these anal OGs.
Yes, an analogy.
and as the being that we are all awake, we are all friends, and so clearly we are all in this together. I'm sorry, Darius. I'll be right back.
Well, I'll continue discussing with Darius. Do you want to describe what Eridu is going to go away and do?
Eridu is going to get to the Elven place as fast as he can,
The Fey
and
Lounge.
the Fey Lounge, and get Alton out. Realizing Alton's alone now facing the trap, And Eridu's fast, so I figured.
Mm-hmm.
That's the run there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm going to double split the party, and now we're all going to be on our own when shit hits the fan.
All right.
This is not
So
I'm going to try and outline with Darius while he's running over there. So, is Garth in control of those boys that were passing us from pillar to post?
in control, I would say yes in a manner of speaking. He seems to be like kind of like retching a little bit.
Are you all right, Darius?
Ale. 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 He's uncomfortable to say more.
Darius, I have quite a few questions. Perhaps it would be best if I outlined all of my theories thus far, and then you could let me know where I'm closer to. Because you seem to have a better grasp on this, and On will then take this opportunity to reel off all of his like conspiracy theories of things that are going on right now, while we switch to whatever Alton's doing.
Okay. Alton, you haven't really been at the Fey Lounge for very long. In your time of sitting and observing, there's been maybe a couple more patrons that have entered, and there's enough cots available to where they're able to sit, they're able to do their thing. At some point, the old elf with the frog in his throat, he comes up to you, and instead of bringing a drink, he brings some eyedroppers. You know, just kind of like, it seems like he's like on autopilot, and then when he realizes he has the eyedroppers, he almost like takes them away and looks confused, but then he shrugs and he's like, I don't know.
I just silently, like, even without words, I just kind of like wave him off.
Yeah. He shrugs again, totters off, takes the eyedroppers back, and then eventually brings you out another half pint of ale as you've been ordering.
Yeah.
And at this point, Eridu runs up to the front because he is a very fast elf, and it's not a terribly long distance away. And yeah, you're able to.
Which Fey Lounge is this? Am I familiar with it?
I don't think you are, because this is farther away from where you live in the city, and it's also probably like a little dirtier than Eridu would like.
Okay. That's definitely not the Razor Leaf. I wanted to be sure.
Definitely not the Razor Leaf.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. So I'll be a little more cautious leading up to the building. Looking for signs of people who might be putting more interest into me than is necessary. Both heading up into the building and going inside if I don't notice anything in the street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you like me to roll?
Yeah. Go ahead. Do a perception check.
All right.
Oh, obviously, should I be rolling perceptions and stealths? 'Cause that's like my entire job there.
You're intentionally trying to be stealthy. I
Well,
mean,
it's stealthy in that I'm trying to be
yeah.
unnoticed.
For sure.
And perception that I'm like watching the fuck out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, what I really told you earlier was pretty much it, though. Like, there hasn't been much activity, really.
Okay,
like,
I just want to make sure that I'm not.
Yeah, your
like,
passive
it's not,
perception is like.
unnecessary.
Yeah, your passive perception is like picking up everything that you need to see.
Okay.
So Eridu, what was your roll?
22.
22. Wow. Okay. You see in the distance, kind of like, so as you're on the docks, and as you look further up the docks into the city, you see between like alleyways, you see little points of light that indicate to you that guard patrols are active on this side of the city at this time of night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what your 22 tells you. Everything that's on the docks, it's like it's a pretty quiet night on the docks, so you're not really seeing any dangers on your way in there. When you get inside, you see the same wizened old elf who is behind the counter, considering some eyedroppers in his hand right now, and he looks up at you and just gives you one of these kind of stares, and then just shrugs and goes back to looking at the eyedroppers in his hand.
I'll walk up to him and say, "Excuse me, sir. May I?"
As he hands them to you, he says, 5 gold.
Thank you. And I'll slip him 10 and say,
Ooh.
"There was a small person who came in earlier. Could you possibly tell me where they are at?"
Feh. And he just waves his hand in that direction, right behind you.
Is he just in the corner of the room?
Yeah, he's literally
my
just in the
perception
corner
roll
of
was
the
too
room.
low. I couldn't see him there.
Oh, I didn't tell you. I'm sorry. But you still paid the guy 10 gold. Yay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I look around, take a second, and go. And assuming this is going to be more of an up-class place, intention like Eridu would have thought, oh yeah, he's going to be in a side room or something like that. Actually, Eridu probably should have thought that he was just sneaking in, but that's okay.
So,
Turning in the gesture, seeing Alton just sitting there in the corner.
Yeah, you see Alton in the corner.
I wrap my hands around the sympathy and put it in my pouch and like do a little whistle. That probably something that we've heard before, and kind of gesture for Alton to come to me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like but they're like, oh hey, like and then
Hey,
I just
buddy.
go, oh hey, like why did it take you so long to get here? Like, well, what's going on? And then I just kind of walk up to him, and I kind of do like a bro hug, but like I kind of bring him down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to go. It is not safe here.
And then telepathically I go, okay, super cash then.
Right.
So cash.
Okay.
So as we casually walk out, I explain about Darius and about Garth's setup, and that this was the place for that setup.
Okay.
At least that's what Darius has told me. However, I do have my doubts, and I think we should probably get on and get him out of that situation as well, because it could be another double setup. Who knows? At this point, it's pretty obvious to me that we can't really trust any factions involved here whatsoever.
Yeah. I have an idea, and again, this is kind of a little telepathically. This is Can I? Is there anywhere, GM, that is still within line of sight, but very clearly, like it would be hard for them to see me?
For whom?
Like if anyone comes in and raids the place.
You're still in the Fey Lounge at this point, or are you exited?
No, we've walked out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's plenty of places to hide. There's plenty of like shipping containers and crates, and it's like I said, this is like the kind of dirtier side of the dock, so it's not very clean. There's plenty of debris. There's plenty of stuff all over.
Okay, so then I'm basically gonna say, if you don't trust him, let's confirm his fears. Go get on. Do
Yes.
the same as I'm doing, and then I'm gonna point to like a basically usual suspects pile, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna hide behind that, and I'm gonna watch and see what happens. If Garth and his men come there at any point for a raid or for a clear setup for an ambush, then we know.
You should know there are guards on patrol, and it is possible that they will be trying to frame us for something. Just keep an eye out and keep yourself safe.
I will go tell Dominique to come find me if it's on the way.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, maybe.
Oh, it's not.
I don't know. You guys are like literally like. So you're on the docks. Like, I don't know. Maybe I had this whole map figured out, so I may as well use it.
It,
Right.
All right.
I don't
So
even know where.
Wait, because I don't know where I don't know. I know where the docks are. I don't know where the other
eastern.
places. So it's hard to know.
so they're
like,
both.
where-
So if they're both on the eastern docks. You know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like
so then, yeah, no, that would be way out of the way.
it'd
Never
be
mind.
way out of the way.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So no, never mind. Just I wouldn't tell him to do that because I would know better than that.
For sure.
So
Okay.
then, yeah, I just say.
It's like there's
I
like
just-
one pier difference, maybe that. Like the one tavern's on the one pier, and then the Fey Lounge is on like an adjacent pier.
Then yeah, I just say I find the place that has the best balance of advantageous line of sight with best cover,
How
so that way nobody's gonna see me.
are you still on that pier that the Fey Lounge is on?
No, doesn't matter. As long as I have a balance of line of sight over and stealth
Okay.
or height.
All right.
Like that's all I care about is can I see what's going on in the place or around the place, but without being easily seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, or at least conspicuously seen. So like even if like I would want to find a place that I'm like, well, guards would have to be looking for me pretty intently to
Mm-hmm.
be able to find me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll say
So-
there's this kind of like half dilapidated stack of shipping crates, and it's going high enough to where it's kind of like above where the level of the oil lamps are. So you have like
Mhm.
this level of shade that you're not being directly illuminated on this
Right,
this
so
big
kind of
pile.
like a Iron Fist in the Netflix series.
Don't know it, but
Okay.
yes.
Gotcha.
But yes. Okay, so you're hidden, and Eridu, you're going back to the bottle and blade.
Yep.
Okay, so you,
And if I'm understanding right, Alton would like me to get on, and then we go and kind of hide and keep an eye on the bottle and blade and see if anybody tries to pull any shenanigans there. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you walk back into the bottle and blade, go back to the corner where you just left them, and you see Darius nearly asleep, propping himself up like this. It kind of is like his eyes keep drooping down, and he's
And it's
really.
possible that the druids are trying to transmute things like they can transmute themselves. It's really incredible that they could be the masterminds behind this whole thing, and we don't even know.
I do not think he is as interested as you think.
Ah,
He's
Eridu, my good friend. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're back.
Yes, I
I'm
did not
glad
think
you're
we
back.
got along so well. Apparently, we're good friends.
Look, the whole reason I invited you guys here is because I need your help. And the only reason that I told you that really sensitive information earlier was to tell you that there's a way to get Garth back tonight. Right now. Do you want to stick it to him?
I'm looking around me, suspiciously, looking for anything that might seem out of place, as far as like other guards or people who look like they don't belong or are trying to act, like paying attention but not like. I'm looking for suspicious activity.
Okay.
If it's perception, I got a 16. I could do it inside as well, if that makes more sense in the situation.
No, perception makes
They're both the
more
same.
sense. Um,
What did I do?
what did you do?
I pressed close on my character, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're fine.
And Eridu died.
With the 16 perception,
With a simple X, Eridu is dead.
your eyes linger back over to the sparring match that is still going on, and you look over to the bartender, and the bartender looks like they are very busy, still trying to fill several orders. And the one suspicious thing that you see is that there is a person, like short, stocky figure, looks like maybe still a human. They look to be passed out drunk on the table in front of them, but they have their own kind of cape. It's not quite a big cloak. Yeah, it's a big cloak. They have it over their head, so you can't really be quite sure if they're just passed out drunk or if they're like pretending to be passed out drunk. That's like the only thing that you can see as suspicious.
I'll tell you what, Darius. I am interested in hearing what you have to say, but why don't we take to the streets where there are less open ears, and you can tell us everything that you have in mind.
I believe that's acceptable. The Bottle and Blade, it has better nights. Let's say that.
Yes, let's say that.
Very well.
So, going out into the streets, I'll be very aware of the guard patrols and do my best to spot them and avoid them
Mm-hmm.
as we walk in the direction of where Alton is at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alton is essentially posted up at this spot where the piers meet, because like the tavern and the Fey Lounge are both like farther down on the piers, and then as you guys go up, he's at the juncture where those two would meet. So you guys are walking more in that direction, and as you walk, Darius fills you in with a little more information. Garth is using all of his influences to smuggle all sorts of things into Twin Harbor. And gotta be honest with you, I don't like it because it's cutting into my business.
And what is your business?
Shipping. Some might say smuggling, but you know, one person's contraband is another person's national treasures. And
what do you ship?
I would bore you with the details, but it's all manner of things. You know, my company's famous for it, but you know, we're more famous for shipping legitimate things. And
Do
you know,
the things you ship directly conflict with the things that Garth is bringing into the city?
in a manner of speaking.
So you're offering us retribution on Garth, but what you're really saying is, I want you to solve this problem for me.
I mean, it was one that I was going to solve myself anyways. You guys don't have to do this. I could really use your help, but I just figured that you would be motivated because the alternative is a jail cell.
And what is it you have in mind for Garth?
What does I have in mind for Garth? Well, I haven't seen him. I have no idea where he is. I have all kinds of things in mind for him personally, believe me, but as for right now, we're going to steal a shipment of his.
Thoughts?
Mm.
I trust you implicitly. Whatever you think here, I will listen to that counsel, and I will make my decision accordingly.
Our understanding of the character of Garth is that he's an unscrupulous fellow that doesn't care much for us or anyone that we keep company with. We find that everything that we are being told matches up with our understanding of his character. That he may, in fact, be seeking to harm us because our actions, as ignorant and fumbling around in the dark as they may end up being a hamper to his business practices. And we are not too surprised with the idea that he is using child labor, although it's paid child labor. However, it may very well be that all of this information matches the character of Garth, but may not in fact be Garth. The only source of information we have for Garth being involved with all of this at all is Darius saying so. So while these things may seem Garth-like, it may not very well be, and I mean no disrespect, Darius, but you are indeed a stranger to us, to all intents and purposes. We are not friends yet, despite you being awake.
I view you as such, but I don't know. I would hate to interfere in your theory crafting. You are so very good at it.
It's possible that Darius here is hoping to instigate some sort of contention between Garth and ourselves that's more open than the understated situation we currently have, by using us to further Darius's own ends to his own benefit and not necessarily to ours, starting a situation with Garth that we are being led to believe is already in situ. However, if we don't partake, what are our situations going to look like? If we don't follow Darius and his instructions, it could very well be that Garth is in a stronger position to be able to harm us more completely.
Darius, did Garth hire us to move the shipment through the sewers?
Yeah,
So we did his bidding. We did his job.
you
We
did
kept
his bidding.
goods safe. We delivered them to their place, and then they went off with the person at hand to take them to wherever they needed to go. What in that moment would have earned us his enmity?
I told you before, I can't pretend to know what Garth is thinking. What I know of him, he's a fucking sociopath.
And tell me, what do you know of the druids who live beneath the city?
Oh, them?
Yes, them.
I think they're mostly harmless. They have a rough lot. I can say that much.
And do your business practices interfere with them?
I mean, we've developed an understanding. You know, I've spent enough time in this business to know you gotta pay money to make money. You gotta spend money to make money. That's the whole of it. It's the way it goes.
Ons just had an idea to try and establish the honesty of this person and whether or not we'd like to do business with him. And so he's going to try and deceive Darius and make Darius think that that On is in the market to buy some Sapphire Dream. Could he perhaps get his hands on some? And On's likely to make it quite obvious that he's trying to work out if Darius is the dealer involved in this, or not. So, Darius, very much on topic for what we're talking about. I recently tried some of that Sapphire Dream, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. I would very much like to get my hands on some more. Could you, by any chance, know anyone that might be able to get me some more?
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh,
All right, so
rolled a 4 as well.
the deception. Wow.
Oh, I get a +5. That's a 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Darius just goes like, yeah, I'm sure you liked it a lot. if you guys would let me continue. And then at this point, I'm going to say that you guys have walked far enough along the dock so that Alton could sneak up and kind of be within earshot at this point. He says, if you guys let me continue, I was going to tell you that the shipment that we're going to steal, or at least I'm going to steal, and you can help me if you'd like, the shipment I'm going to steal is a shipment of Sapphire Dream. That's it. Garth's been dealing in the dirty Saph.
Oh.
Oh man. Ah, damn.
Is there nothing that you could provide us with, Darius, to convince us further that it is Garth that will be retaliating against, and Garth that is enacting some sort of vengeance against us for whatever reason?
I mean, that's the confusing thing is, like, you guys keep thinking that Garth, like, did this because you wronged him in some way. I don't know if that's Garth entirely. I think he's doing this because he realizes that you are all pawns, that he can move around. It's not so much that you did something to him, it's that you can do something for him.
Oh. So if this was a sting operation of some kind for us to get caught up in something, perhaps that would be blackmail, leverage, to be able to get us to do something more for the future. By remaining a mysterious benefactor, paying us to protect his shipment. Yes.
Like I told you, he's a fucking sociopath.
This does all match up.
Well, I need some time to put some of these pieces together.
So you're not going to help me steal the shipment that's coming in? I was going to say he looks at his watch, but he doesn't have a watch.
He looks at the stars.
He looks at the stars.
If
You
that
mean
star's hanging to the left of that.
yeah, that means it's
11:45.
just about time to fuck up some shit. So
I'll tell you what. You tell us where this is going down, and if we are going to help you, we will be there, and if we are not, then we will not.
all you must do is keep walking with me over here. And he motions over to the direction. So there is a bridge that connects to the eastern docks, and that goes off to the closest island in the middle of the river.
Has Alton already joined us, or is he?
I don't know. Has he?
We probably walked by you there, Alton, not seeing where you were at, considering none of us knew where you were hiding.
He told me to tell you that he's maybe there.
Okay.
You don't know.
Alton,
You were gonna say something, but then it
He's-
would give it away.
yeah.
Yeah,
What is that
you
roll?
don't know. All you know is that I rolled a 24 on my stealth check.
I
so
didn't
you
even
don't
know
know.
that. Now I do. All right.
I gotta roll some more dice. Okay, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
You're not hitting a 24, man.
Okay.
Dropping back just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Eridu is going to pull a tarot card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working that out, so go ahead. Do something else.
Oh. Okay.
Unless you wanted to give me a specific one, but you said you're not familiar with them.
I'm
so-
not familiar with them, but I can try and look up what it
Nah, I
means.
got it, man.
You got it?
I got it covered.
Okay, you got it covered. Well, then you cover that. Okay. So, the only thing that Darius is going to do is try and, like, pressure you again and say, like, the time is almost here. Can I rely on your help or not? It's going to be a bigger haul if I have your help.
Okay, so suddenly I'm going to pop into Eridu's mind, and I'm gonna say, pull the, and I don't know, I don't know tarot cards, so just one of them. And basically, what I want to say is, I'm gonna tell him to pull whatever card if if he thinks that if that I would find him trustworthy enough.
Oh! I see what you're saying. You're saying pull out pull out the 5 of swords if you think that I should trust this guy.
Right.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that's the agreed upon card that you said.
Right.
I pull it out, but I put it upside down, which means that essentially I'm gonna go with it, but I'm very much on the fence.
Right. Yeah. That's what I would have gotten from that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would. Yeah. That's definitely what I would have gotten with on that one. So then I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna do the same thing with On, and I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell him to scruff his hair if he trusts this guy.
Scruff his hair if you trust this guy.
Yeah. Okay. I step out of the shadows.
Darius looks a little shocked, and maybe misses a step for a second, and then falls back into his stride and says, "I was hoping that you would join us, little master."
I'm glad to be here finally. Is there anything that I need to be caught up on?
Just that we're going to stick it to Garth tonight
Yes.
and steal
I think
his
that we
shipment.
will.
We're gonna stick it to Garth.
We're going to stick it to Garth because, unbeknownst to you, he's been playing you guys and playing you guys pretty well, like a fiddle, one could say.
Okay.
As we walk, I'm gonna drop back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and find a section of rope.
That's
Since
easy.
we're on a dock, I'm assuming there's plenty of.
That's easy enough to find. You find a nice length of rope that is not even too rotted yet.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad. I'm gonna wrap that around my fists. Around like my full hand and forearm. I'm assuming it's pretty long, so.
Mm-hmm.
And probably fairly thick, since it would be some sort of something you'd use on a boat.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So we're gonna follow Darius here and head to the shipment.
Yeah.
Garth's shipment.
Very well. He takes you further in the westerly direction. You cross over the number of piers that are extending out, and you're quickly approaching that bridge that leads to that easternmost island in the middle of the river that separates the two harbors. And as you reach that bridge that connects off of that pier, Garth points very low in this low direction toward the base of that island, and sure enough, there's another sewer pipe, and out of that sewer pipe, I mentioned that the moon was out that other night, last night, so the moon is out again tonight. There's some more clouds going on, but there's enough of a dance of moonlight on the water to where you can see the little black vessels interrupting like the moonlight. They're very, very stealthily passing out of that sewer gate, and they're on their way toward you guys. And Darius stops, takes his pack off, and starts rummaging through his pack, and he pulls out his own length of rope and starts tying a knot around one of the support beams of the railing, and says, Okay, so there should be 3 boats. I'm gonna try and wrangle one. I'd really like you guys to get the other 2. And here's what we're gonna do. He rummages through his pack even more and pulls out some mysterious runes. Like, you guys had seen a couple of these before. It seems to be this, like, very, like, autopilot mechanic kind of a thing. The runes at the front of these ships are drawn irresistibly to their matching counterpart. So that's how these ships are kind of like autopiloting themselves. And he says, what I want you to do is I want you to slap this on front of that. It should fuse together, and it should change the direction that we got going on here. And
Okay, so quick question, and maybe all GMs can chime in on this one, because I'm not sure the ruling on it. My terrain is, as a ranger, is coastal.
Mm-hmm.
Would the difficult terrain doesn't slow my group's travel, would that include swimming?
I mean,
I would say no, only because swimming has its own subset of rules, and the fact that swimming counts as difficult terrain is in part of that. Only because I can't find a proper way of justifying how you would be able to make us better swimmers. I don't mind if your swimming isn't half. Like, that doesn't bother me. You can count.
Okay, then we'll just do that. Then my swimming isn't half, but your guys.
But we are still swimming still counts as difficult terrain for us.
Right. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's. I mean, I'm okay with any ruling that you guys would have come up with as a whole. And the reason why I asked it as a whole is because that's a class feature. Therefore, I felt like everybody needed to be in on that.
for sure.
Especially since we sort of established that things can modify and shift slightly episode to episode. I suppose for the time being, the only thing that matters is what Kyle's comfortable with at the moment.
True.
Yeah, I'd say you're a good swimmer. Them have to follow regular rules for swimming. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Cool.
like I said, I'm not 100% sure how to follow that one. I've never actually never. That's not something they
Good one.
address properly.
It's a good thing to think about, actually, because does coastal mean the water, or does coastal mean the land by the water? And if it's land by the water, is difficult terrain like vertical cliffs? Like what would count as difficult terrain there?
I would assume that the coastal would be like shallow water, but not deep water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you'd
like
still class that's coast, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my assumption, and that's why I brought it up. If we were in the middle of the ocean, I wouldn't have brought it up.
Right. No, I get you. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm good at the ruling of your swimming is not affected by difficult terrain. Ours still is. Any other things like climbing coastal cliffs? Yeah, you could help us with that.
Okay.
Wading through coastal waters, maybe, but not swimming.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
So there are two more runes that Darius pulls out, and he hands one to Alton and he hands one to Eridu. He gives kind of a fleeting glance over at On for some particular reason or no particular reason, and and then he starts securing the knot that he tied to the railing, and he starts spooling the rope down discreetly, and he's looking this way and looking that way.
Darius, should we be expecting guards?
You should always be expecting guards. I'm telling you, this town ain't like it used to be.
Also, where are we going with these?
A safe spot. Different place on the docks. We'll be able to unload the cargo. I mean, obviously we can't do anything with these boats. We have to get the cargo off the boats. We'll take care of that really quick, and then we'll just slip through the streets. Get out of here.
And who is meeting us there?
No one.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna roll an insight check.
okay.
'Cause I don't believe him. I did not roll well.
Okay.
I got a 6. Apparently, I don't believe him, but I have. It's just based on my mistrust rather than any real given information.
Very well.
Or you could really misread him and think that he's obviously deceiving us all.
Oh, yeah, that actually probably works a lot better. Like, there's definitely somebody there waiting for us. He's setting us up.
Forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. So Darius says, once we unload everything, transfer the cargo, slip through the streets, I'll take you to see my family. You're gonna meet the Buffos. They're pretty crazy, but I don't know. You might like them. You might like Goethe. She's sweet.
How far is the drop onto the boats?
At least it's pretty high. It's like at least 20 feet.
Okay.
You know, it's like the railing is pretty high up there, and Alton, without really consulting anybody, and hopefully he keeps a good grip on that rune that he had in his hand, but he does a little acrobatic kick flip off of the bridge into the water and does a graceful splish. Some judges appear out of nowhere with like a 9 sign, another one's got like a 10 sign, and like
I'm gonna turn to On as is Darius climbing down the rope now?
he is starting to.
Okay. I'll turn to On quietly and hand him the cube and say, "You get the other boat. I'm going to get on the boat with Darius. I do not want to let him out of my sight. I do not trust him."
That sounds reasonable. I do think that him taking us to see his family is either a further ploy to ingratiate himself into our good graces, or it may very well be him genuinely showing a vulnerable side to himself as a sign of the fact that he trusts us.
Was this the first time we've heard his last name, Kyle?
No, you've heard it
Yep.
multiple times before.
Okay.
Yeah, we had it
He
before.
introduced himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't recall. All right. Yeah, I'll just give On a nod.
Okay, so I'm gonna have acrobatics checks from people, or I don't know, athletics or acrobatics.
Depends on. I would assume depends on how you go down.
Yeah,
Like, I
how you go
died.
down. Yeah, you dove.
I'm gonna climb down the rope.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's like athletics or acrobatics.
That'd be
I'd say athletics would probably be the whole hand over hand
Okay.
climbing down.
Sounds good.
Um,
Okay, Darius has absolutely no problem with it. Literally no problem.
Natural
with it.
20.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You repel like your tilting sticks, just like backwards, just like going face down into the water.
Yeah.
I should do some fancy flip because I can't athletics worth hell.
Okay.
I mean,
For athletics, get a -1, so that's a modified 19.
There you go. All right, and
I'll just kind of. I don't know how I would reason acrobatics in my way down that.
you could just do a flip.
I'm gonna do a dive into the water.
Okay.
So that's a 10. And
Okay.
then I'll climb out of the water and get out of the boat.
Yeah.
I think acrobatics would be more like sort of Cirque du Soleil. You know, you like twist yourself around the rope like it's a pole dancing thing.
Well, but a dive would still count because it's a dexterous act.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah. So
Yeah, or a dive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Eridu's Eridu's dive is slightly less graceful than Alton's was.
No, my performance check was a 7. So slightly less graceful. I didn't. make it a 30.
That's just miserable. That's just sad.
It was all sloppy form and
Yep.
and bad technique.
For sure.
At least
But-
I landed with my hands clasped
Mhm.
together.
So one way or another, you guys get down there. Alton is actually first because he just pretty much dove right for it. Darius just muscles his way down very easily. On is right behind him. So Alton takes the lead boat. Darius and Eridu are on the middle boat, and then On gets down there last and takes that rear boat. And
I would like to actually make a stealth check when I climb onto Darius's boat.
okay, do so.
Michael, take a drink.
Oh my God, it happens.
I rolled a 1.
This is welcome to the Roll for Mischief drinking game, in which everyone takes a shot when there's a natural 1.
And Eridu, trying to be all sneaky and suspicious, dove into the water, climbed back on the boat with a 1.
Yep. So the way that happens is that you. So I mentioned that with the other boat, there was this other interesting kind of like magical thing going on where you could tell that it had a self-righting mechanism going on magically. Like if the boat tipped too much in this direction where it would like capsize, it just went and like just corrected its own level like completely. So Asa, you try and get up, but you do it so forcefully that you pull the boat down and it kind of hits that threshold and then goes and then you go whoa, and you get yourself up on the boat, but in the least subtle way you possibly can.
Right.
And Darius does not look very impressed with you, but then he looks back to On, he looks forward to Alton, he takes the rune that he has and places it, just snaps it right in front of that rune. And there's this hissing sound as the runes connect. And this rune in front glows a different color, a soft green, and soon enough his boat starts to veer in a different direction.
Okay, so I rolled because I can move stealthily at normal pace in my favorite terrain. So I moved stealthily. I rolled a 17 plus 6, so that's a 23 for stealth. To get up to the front boat. I figured I need to do stealthy because I'm in the front boat. That's gonna be the most noticeable.
Yeah.
And then I got to whatever you need me to roll to attach it or to get do whatever.
That's not really a roll that's
Okay.
necessary. It's like the boat's super stable. All you need to do is just reach over and go snap.
Okay, then yeah. So I very stealthily, did maybe the underwater thing that
Yeah.
you do, yeah.
Like a dolphin.
Yeah, like the dolphin underwater.
Like a dolphin, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you're up in the boat. You're very stealthy about it. The other guys might not even see you very well, but you're all going in the same direction now. So it seems like all is well. All is well. And you guys, so you were heading toward the lower piers, which is where both the Bottle and Blade and the Fey Lounge were. And now you're changing in this opposite direction. You're going more in like a northeasternly direction. You're actually under the big like wooden pier system itself. And you're navigating between like the mucky, gross, like literally the underbelly of the piers, and taking this very kind of circuitous route. And then eventually, just when the stench was getting to be a bit too much, you come over on this other side, and there is a stone staircase that leads up to the city proper, and there is a platform where there's the matching stones kind of set into the boards themselves. And the boats get close enough to connect to those runes, and they stop, and Darius looks around and says, "All right, here we go, next phase." And he gets up and he starts rummaging around in these chests. There's some chests and some crates over here, and he pulls out various sacks and bags and says, "Okay, we need to unload these boats as fast as we can right now."
Okay, so we're onto the sewer and we're unloading these boats.
No, you're not in the sewer. It's like you're.
Sorry, I was listening.
That's okay. It's like there's a platform that's below like the rest of the pier, and it actually there's a stone staircase that leads up to like Twin Harbor, like the city proper.
And there's nobody on that platform at all.
Nobody on that platform.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to do something a little bit. I'm going to try to do something a little bit unconventional with one of my monk powers. You let me know if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use my water whip,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of actually like making an attack against him with it, Darius says, I would like to like conjure up the water to bind him, like you would with the whip or something like that. Like bind his legs, his hands and legs long enough for me to come over and tie him up with the rope that I grabbed. So I would use my 2 Kai points. I would forego the damage to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me if I can manage that.
Yeah, I say you can make an attack roll. I'll even give you.
Well, he actually a thing requires him to make a dex save. Do you want to
Oh, it's a dex save. Yeah, it would be a dexterity save for sure.
All right, let me use my key points and we do that.
Okay. What's my DC?
I would assume then that you would need to do it would require a successful attack and then a grapple contested grapple. I would assume, right? Or do you want to just bypass the contested grapple?
Well, he's not like really trying to grapple him quite yet.
Yeah.
Not
really,
quite
I'm
yet.
Well,
using-
he's grappling
yeah.
them with the water.
Yeah, for sure. But he's gonna like really grapple him, so I'm not gonna quite go for the grapple check. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna say if he fails the dex save, then
Then I'm
he
gonna try.
No,
yeah.
No, that's fine. I was just throwing out there
for sure. So what's my DC?
because he's doing something
Then I'm
weird.
trying to
giving
beat-
you an option.
For sure.
The DC is 13.
13. Okay. Oh no way! No way!
Alright. So these
rolled great.
like strands of water come up out of the ocean and just wrap around his arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna run over and start to tie him up with my rope as best I can.
I said no way though.
Oh, you made the dexterity.
I made that. That's.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
In that
Whoops.
case, I'm going to run up as these
Whoops.
ropes are these
Falling
water is
apart.
doing its thing. And I'm still going to attempt to like grapple him and tie him up anyway,
Okay.
which is where he's probably going to have the advantage because I can't acrobatics to save my life.
Okay.
No, it's your athletics versus hit that athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I can't athletics to save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to like start a combat like initiative thing, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe since this is all happening so quickly,
You ruined the surprise, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah,
round.
there's
Right.
well,
right. The surprise round was essentially the water whip.
yeah, pretty
I
much.
get that. I get that, and I can't roll. Get the fuck out of here. Can't roll like shit with that dice, so I got a 7 on my initiative. My cat's like, oh look, there's a dice over there. Let me go find it.
23.
That one's better.
Okay. All right. On got 15. Cue battle music. All right. What did Asa get?
I got a 7.
Oh, you're pathetic, boy.
I know.
Yeah.
I am. The withdrawal's hitting pretty hard right now. Like I thought I had control of that water whip thing, and he broke free, and I just kind of go charging in his direction.
Mm-hmm.
Ropes in
Okay.
hand.
So, the order is Alton first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Alton, then it's going to be on Darius, and then Asa.
Why do I not get a character name?
I'm sorry. Eridu.
Thank you.
You're just Asa to me. All right, so Alton, you essentially what happens is that Eridu calls up the water and it goes to encircle Darius, and then he just reacts way quickly, and he ducks down, gets under like the contracting water, and just goes just splashes it away. And then as he pulls out his other hand, he has got a hand crossbow fully loaded and ready to go.
Okay.
And then that's the scene. That's the scene right now as this initiative round starts. It doesn't necessarily have to be combat, but since Asa did what looked to be a violent act, whatever happens now is going to be in this like very hyper reactionary order.
Right.
Since the actual attempt I was going for failed, can I do the half damage to him? Or
Sure, yeah, you can do the half damage to him.
Okay. So like instead of
splash.
the things actually wrapping around him, and just kind of smack him around a little bit.
Uh-huh.
That's about it. Mostly because this takes up key points, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to do a save or suck for something that I expended. That would be 7 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I have it already. So.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm gonna pull out my my Copus and my Zephos,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna turn to Eridu and be like, "What the fuck?"
Can I speak, or do I need to wait till my turn?
Talking is a free action. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
talking
you guys can have conversations in the middle of this whole thing.
As long as it's not too long.
The whole
I'm
point of
just gonna
the
go with. We need to dump this load. We cannot trust anyone anymore.
Okay, so, and the way that I always look at it is you can do a call and response, and that's it per turn. The way that I look at it.
That makes
that's
sense.
Up to everybody else.
that
That's what I
totally
was gonna say on your turn. So.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're within 6 seconds, so a call and response is like you can't have a fucking conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, what I'm gonna do is I am going to basically I'm gonna go up and I'm going to attempt. I'm gonna attempt my own actual grapple. But I'm gonna grapple in a way that, like, basically, my Copus, because it's the curved blade, is basically like aligning with his throat.
You are on a different boat.
Oh, you're doing it on the boat?
Yes.
Oh,
As he
I
was
thought you
getting
guys-
stuff out of the boxes,
Okay, how far away is that
Well,
from me?
hold on. So y'all are still on the boats, and Darius is on like the dock area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The boat,
I
granted,
thought he started pulling stuff out of boxes on the boat to unload them.
not on the boat. It was not on the boat though. It was like on the docks. Like
Oh,
he
okay.
went out to the dock. So then I was envisioning like you're still on the boat, and then you call up the water against him,
Right.
get that
And then-
surprise on him, and then he's still like on the dock. So like all three of you guys are like in a row in front of him. You know, essentially like
Right.
seven
Okay.
7 to 10 feet away or something.
Okay, athletics 16.
To grapple him.
Yeah.
You have him grappled for the moment.
Okay. And then yeah, so yeah, I just do that and just, I just have my Copus just kind of up against his throat, and because it's got a slight curve, it's like basically like it like wraps a little bit more around the throat than like say a straight edge would do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little scarier. I don't know if you want me to roll an intimidation on that or not, but
Is that
that's what's going on.
okay? I mean, the intimidation during combat thing, I'm not sure if that would be like cost some kind of action or not, but
I'm not
you know,
trying
if
to
you're like-
actively intimidate
Okay,
him. I'm just
well, in
doing
that
it
case-
to kind of slow him down.
okay. Well, I mean, you got him grappled, so that's slowing him down. His speed is 0
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
now, so there's
Yeah.
that. He, as you put the knife to his neck, he hisses at you and says, "You are fucking with the wrong bufo right now."
Gotcha. I don't say anything. I just sit there with the one, so the one like the copus on around his neck, and then my arm around his other arm right here.
Mhm.
Basically, that's it. That's all I can do. Actually, I'm gonna alt for my bonus action. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay, he is your mark. So that's it for Alton's turn. Check. It's On's turn.
Okay, so just to clarify, Alton's now grappling. Darren.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of
Yes.
snuck up behind him and got him in this, like, you know, it only works because Darius is a dwarf, like, even though he's, like, still taller than Alton, like, Alton's somehow making this work. Maybe he's, like,
Alton's standing on a box.
he's standing on a box. There's a box,
Dwarves are not
like, conveniently
that
right
tall.
in front of
like
him.
that's like someone like that'd be like if Asa were to grapple me. That's still within acceptable range.
For sure.
I actually think that's a bad example. I'm pretty sure we're about the same height.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Okay.
Yeah, 6 foot.
Okay.
Oh, taller than I thought you were.
All right. So it's On's turn, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. I'm going to unfortunately stretch game mechanics slightly. Which
Ooh, dear.
we need to be pushing against the boundaries.
I love it.
established.
I love it when my players do this.
Okay,
Go.
so I would like to instinctively try to break up the grapple by using Gust.
Oh.
So Gust is a cantrip that allows me to target one medium or smaller creature that I choose. They have to succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed up to 5 feet away. Since there's a grapple in situ, would that mean that I could potentially successfully push Darius away, but in theory have to have him fail the strength saving throw so that he's pushed, but also have Alton fail the strength saving throw to keep a hold of Darius? So that's one way that we could potentially keep this simple. To have Alton and Darius both make a strength saving throw, and only if both fail is Darius pushed.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It took me a couple seconds to wrap it in my brain, but that makes the most sense.
If an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler or the grappling effect, such as when the creature is hurled. Okay, well, so you can only target one creature, though. So are you going to target Darius or are you going to target Alton?
Yes, I'm going to target Darius.
You're going
and
to target
try and move
Darius.
him away.
I'm going to go with him failing the strength saving throw. Like, if he fails the strength saving throw, then he'll get pushed, and then that by itself will break the grapple. That's like rules as intended, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
Strength saving throw then.
Yeah,
It needs to be
what-
a DC of 13.
My DC of 13, eh? Oh. He definitely does not make it. So you just push up against him, and he's like,
Yes, so gust of wind to blow him away, and then I'd like to jump from my boat, which was the same one that Alton was on, if I'm understanding.
No,
correctly.
no, you were on the back one. I was on the front one.
Oh, right, okay. I just know that I was on the different one to Eridu.
Right, yeah. I was on the front one, you were on the back one, Eridu was on the middle one.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll leap from that onto the platform, and if I have enough movement, I would like to interpose myself between the two. Let's say, what has transpired? I don't think anything's changed here, has it? Do we have any reason to mistrust each other?
I'm just gonna say, I find it safe. I find this is gonna be the safest option. We've already, pissed him off, and if I can keep it cool and everything from escalating, then that's what I'm trying to do.
Eridu?
He is stealing Sapphire Dream and will distribute it himself. This drug cannot make it onto the streets. We cannot trust him. He is just another peddler of this garbage.
So that's enough conversation
Yeah,
for you guys right there. That's a good little mini bit of conversation to have in that second. So it's Darius's turn in the initiative. He has been blown away. The person in front of him is on. The person right behind that is Alton, and then the person still on the boat is Eridu, who rolled like shit for his initiative. And Darius, he just hisses at you guys and says, "I've been nothing but honest to you. Absolutely nothing. If you didn't have me, you'd be stuck in a jail cell right now. You might even find yourselves in a jail cell still. Bleh, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Good riddance. You pathetic." And then as he says that, he reaches into his bag, his pocket, more like, and he has a small vial filled with some very bright reddish orange liquid, and he just chucks it over your heads, and it hits one of the unoccupied boats and bursts into flame, and liquidy flame is just spreading all over the top of that boat, and it's quickly succumbing to the flames. And then at that, he poofs right before your eyes. He just it looks like his whole frame just kind of morphs for a second into this blackness, and then it collapses in on itself, and he disappears and reappears 30-40 feet away from you, up on the staircase, and he's just quickly heading out.
Well, good thing that Hunter's Mark has a pretty decent range. So, Hunter's Mark has a 90-foot range, so actually I know exactly where he's at.
All right, well, it's my initiative count.
Yeah,
So
it is your initiative count.
I'm going to jump off the boat. Is it going to catch all three boats?
I mean, the boats are close enough to each other that the flames could spread. The fire is just starting on that boat.
If not, I'll get off of my boat and then push it, disconnect a little stone thing and with my foot push it so that it bunks into the boat in front of it, and they kind of all start to connect.
Oh, you want them to all catch? Okay, cool.
I want them to burn.
Yeah, that can all happen pretty easily.
Yeah. And I'll look at the rest of you and say, well, he did my job for me. It was my intention to destroy this product, not to let it fall into his hands.
Right, but right now we need to deal with him so we don't get any backlash from his family, don't we? There are better ways of doing this.
Yes, we do. How do we find him?
He's that way.
Okay. I'm just going to run up the stairs after him, because I'm fast.
Yeah.
You are fast.
But, most
Okay.
of my movement's going to be off the boat.
Okay, I'm going to say that you have enough movement to get, you're still 20 feet away from him, because you did some of that stuff and hopped off. And, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Alton, you get a turn real quick?
Yeah, I get a turn really. So I am I'm gonna drop my swords and kind of frustratingly tell On to pick. I'm like, On, pick him up, and I'm going to go my 25 feet, and I'm gonna pull out my Tokusatai my bow, and I'm gonna take a shot at him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to slow him down. I don't want to hit just in case he doesn't have that much HP. I don't want to like kill him. I want to hit him in like the leg or something. Like, I'm not trying to kill this guy. I don't want him dead. I just don't want. I want to have an opportunity to de-escalate.
Mm-hmm. All right, go
So-
ahead and take a shot.
It's probably safe to say we're all aiming for incapacitation.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Okay.
Who was it you wanted me to pick up? Sorry.
My swords.
Oh, okay.
18 to hit.
Okay, that'll hit.
Yeah. Okay.
Roll some
So
damages.
It is 1d6 for my bow and another d6 for Hunter's Mark. 7. I rolled like shit.
Mm-hmm. He swears loudly. And, yeah. You got him. You stuck him with an arrow. God damn. So, at this point, you hear more shouting. And 4 city guard come barreling like Darius was just making it out from the top, and he's like at this point kind of ducking into the shadows, and then the guards are coming down, and they just are posting up right at the top of the steps, and they see Eridu as the person right in front of them. They look down, and by this point the fire has spread to both of the other boats, and they're crackling, and like all the bottles inside with the Sapphire Dream, they're bursting, and with each one of those bursts the fire gets a more intense shade of blue, and it's starting to just smell like chemicals and just all sorts of gnarly stuff. And
Where were your
it
swords?
does not look good.
I just dropped him right where I was.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't want to like sheath them because that would be too many free actions.
Okay.
So I just dropped him. I told you because this shit is your fault.
Yes,
So
it is.
I just told you to pick him the fuck up. Like,
Okay.
I said it very angrily.
Yes, for a moment there, I thought that they were in the boats, and I was like,
No, they're on the.
they're gone.
No, they're on the docks.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I just dropped them and bolted, and I pulled out my bow while I was doing that.
Mm-hmm. So one of the
sorry, go.
one of the guards starts clambering down the staircase toward Eridu, and he's pulling out what looks to be like a billy club and a pair of cuffs, and he says like, "We're gonna have to take you guys in."
Okay. Whose turn is it?
It's On's turn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on its turn.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna quickly roll a die to see which side I fall on.
Oh, you're really playing into this chaos, aren't you?
Yes, and I also rolled without deciding what was going to be what. So
Oh, no.
hold on. So odds and evens. Let's go odds. Scarpa evens. Odds. Okay. So I will bend down slowly, pick up the swords, clutch them to my chest, and yell, "Scarpa, boys!" And then I'll quickly misty step 30 feet up near to where Alton is, run in the opposite direction to Alton, so that Alton can go one way, I can go another, and Eridu can swim or something. I don't know.
Oh, wait, I think you guys are confused on the positioning. The only way out, unless
The
you're gonna
stairways.
swim, is the staircase that the guards are coming down.
Right, but he has
what was-
Misty Step. He can do whatever
Yes.
the fuck he wants.
So I was going to teleport to the top of the steps.
Okay, well in that case you're right next to the other guards.
Right, but then he can
Sweet.
bolt it the other direction. Like now he
Yeah.
has movement.
So yeah, did
Yeah.
Alton, like run to the top of the stairs and sort of like?
No, I will. No, Alton. Like I thought he was shooting the bow from down lower.
Yeah, he walked his max distance, 25
Yeah.
feet,
Okay.
and then because he needed to be within visual range,
Okay.
and he shot him in the leg, hoping to have a chance at de-escalation.
Okay.
And
I think what we are missing here is perspective. How big is the lower dock? How far is the stairway? And does it just open up into the open street out behind it?
The lower dock, it's like 15 feet long, maybe 10 feet wide,
Okay.
and the staircase is going to be like a 5-foot staircase, and it goes up like 30 feet.
Okay.
So if you go up like approximately 30 feet, it's like you're at the top of the stairs, but that's where all the guards are.
So you and explaining from my explanation, you said that Eridu was able to get off the boat and make it about halfway up the stairs, and I had a base speed movement of 40, which puts me at exactly the 10-foot up stairs thing. Alton's got a 25-foot movement. He probably is right behind me. There are a couple of guards at the top of the stairs, and then one guard coming down pretty close to me. So I believe what could happen here is that On could Misty Step the 30 feet, which would put him near the top of the stairs, but still with the guards in front of him. Or he could move 10 feet to the base of the stairs, then Misty Step 30 feet behind the guards. Either way, there's no teleportation and then running into the street happening.
Yes. Well, I mean, I suppose because I'm already on the docks, I could run the 10-15 feet to the base of the stairs, Misty Step up, and then I still have another like 10
30 feet or 20 feet or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which would provoke an attack of opportunity from the guards. But you know what? I'm gonna do
Or
that.
you could move 20 feet, Misty Step, and then not provoke an attack of opportunity.
Now let's provoke an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Let's not mess about. I'll do that. I'll run to the base of the stairs with these swords clutched to my chest. Misty Step up, and then run. And I'm gonna yell Scarper as I'm Misty Stepping. So I'm like, Scarper!
Scarper! All right.
Lads, Scarper.
The guard closest to you, he is so shocked that when you come out of the Misty Step that, he does get a wild swing, but it's nowhere close to hitting you as you yell Scarper and you run off in that direction. About how far? Like only 20 feet or something? Or
Yeah, that'll be all that I've got left of my movement, yeah.
Okay, so you're going off in the opposite direction, and it'll be Darius's turn, and at this point, I don't know. I think he may. If you said Hunter's Mark is like 90 feet, then he may have
90
like
feet.
gotten out of range. Cause
He's only got 25 feet movement. I wasn't that far behind him.
Okay, so all right, he moves a lot, and you can still
Currently, I'm
faintly.
still within range.
Okay, yeah, you can faintly tell where he is still.
Right. If I don't take him down this round, then he's gone.
Okay. All right, and then.
Or by the time his next turn comes.
Okay, then Eridu, it is your turn.
All right, I've got guards in front of me.
You've got one guard in front of you. The other 3 are at the top of the steps still.
All right, so here's my thought, and I'm willing to forego damage for this since the place. I would like to keep charging up the stairs. I want to use a melee attack to hit the guard in front of me, only enough for me to be able to create room to move past him.
Mm-hmm.
And then keep going, and then I want to use my flurry of blows to hit the other 2 guards again to move them enough for me to get by.
Okay.
And so like I can forego damage or not. I'm willing to take all 3 attacks of opportunity.
Okay. So using flurry of blows will mean you spending a key point.
A key point, right? But I have to hit with my first attack to do it.
For sure. I'll say that if you hit with the attack and you do the flurry of blows, then what that will do is it will give those guards disadvantage on their opportunity attacks against you.
Okay, and for that, I am foregoing the damage I would deal, right?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds safe. All right. First shot is 9.
That's a miss.
All right.
Okay.
Can't make
Then
better
you-
shots.
Then
So
you miss.
I run up and attempt to kind of push him, but end up like tripping as I'm making my way up, and
Yep.
we're just kind of colliding with this guard.
Uh-huh.
I cannot roll worship.
Nope.
All right, and then I'll just kind of growl at that guy. Get out of my way!
He
In a
shouts.
very non-Eridu like accent.
He kind of like almost catches you a little bit, and he looks so perplexed, and he looks back to his compatriots, and he says, "Looks like we got another druggie." And that will be Alton's turn. You're not very far behind Eridu, and you just witnessed his little stumbling action.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna basically go through, and I know I'm gonna provoke attack of opportunity from one of them. I'm gonna go through.
Possibly more. It's like you got the one that's right in front of you with Eridu, and then you have 3 more at the top that haven't.
Well,
moved
either way,
yet.
I'm going to have to take a corner because I'm trying to keep closest. So I'll at most 2.
Okay. I
So-
did say it was a 5-foot wide staircase.
Yeah, and which would mean that moving past the first card isn't going to happen. The thing I was trying to justify is that with martial arts, I could use a bit of his momentum to kind of push myself through him, essentially. That's what I was attempting to do with my attacks. And the only reason I was arguing that Eridu would have that knowledge is because of the way that martial arts can work. I don't know that Alton could have a similar
I
thing.
can move through the space of any creature that is a size larger than yours.
Right, because you are a halfling.
Correct.
There you go.
It does not say friendly. It says any creature.
Okay, so you can move through their space, but it still provokes attacks of opportunity.
It'll provoke an attack of it'll provoke at least one attack of opportunity. Yes.
Definitely more than that. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they'd have to fuck the shit out of me to take me down.
They just might. So you get what, 25 feet of movement?
Yeah.
Okay, so that will take you to. You're essentially like 5 to 10 feet away from On, if you're going in the same direction as him.
No, I'm following the dwarf.
You're following the dwarf. Oh,
Right.
yeah, okay.
I'm still trying to incapacitate him
Yeah.
in
sure.
an effort to. I know this particular situation is fucked, but I want to be able to slow him down so I can de-escalate.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I have a 14 versus your AC and a
Miss.
23 versus your AC.
Hits.
That is 7 damage. And then a 16 versus your AC
Hits.
for 8 damage.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
2 swords come crashing down on Alton Brightmoon as he tumbles his way and weaves his way between the guard's legs.
Totally fine though. I rolled a nat 20 on my attack.
Okay.
And that's all dice. So that is
He's still like 70 feet away, but that should be within the range of a bow.
yeah. I can double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's within the range of a bow.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll be
The
nice.
argument isn't if it's in range. The argument is it within the range that impedes?
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that
It's 70 feet. Its range is 80.
I know.
/ 320.
I know, but like there's I'm gonna be nice and say that you actually have line of sight because he could have just easily ducked into a bazillion like
foot.
alleyways
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
Uh,
We're gonna say that
Yeah.
it opens up to this like plaza area. He's like just on the other side of the plaza. Like you can like get a crack shot out there.
right. Yeah. No, I figure after this he's gone. This
Mhm.
is it. This is my shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably getting
Okay.
disadvantaged due to lighting anyway.
No, Moon is still out.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
be nice. Give it to him.
This is the
Just gonna-
problem with
just
us
gonna
all
give it
being
to him.
GMs. We're like, hold on, wait.
Hold on,
This
but this.
player-
Hold on,
How-
but hold
why
on,
would
but
he not
this.
be able to, but he like rules, man. That's the rules. Make your shot. Let's keep going.
14.
14 damage.
Mhm.
All right. You don't hear any loud scream necessarily. He's like really kind of far away. But you definitely have a sure satisfaction that your shot hit him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So next,
So I don't hear a scream.
you don't hear a scream,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay.
All right. So it is the guard's turn.
So I'm gonna. It's ending time now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna propose
Yeah.
one of two things. Either A, we can end here and hold off till next session, or B, we can just. I mean, what are the chances of us winning this fight, getting out of this alive? Are we going to get arrested? Like, what's the most likely outcome? How do you want to handle this, Kyle?
What the guards were going to do if we had the time to play this out is that they would make every effort to grapple you and restrain you in iron cuffs and tell you
Right.
that you are under arrest. And I mean, I'm just going to be nice to you guys, but you
I
are
got a
all
proposal.
you're all very weak, so you can't really resist being cuffed necessarily.
I've got a proposal here.
What is your proposal?
Based on what I'm seeing from everyone's placement, it's really likely that both Alton and On have the means to run out of the situation. Being
Oh,
that
yeah.
both of them have already made it past the guards, where Eridu is still trying to wrestle with this one on the stairs and is not likely to get free. So we could extrapolate here and just say those two are able to make it, safely away while Eridu gets arrested. Is that something that we are all comfortable with? Or would you like to?
I
Do
mean,
you want to roll one grapple for me? On is gone. We can roll
On
one.
On
grapple.
is not
Last-
gone. He is not gone. He was like only 20 feet away.
But
Yeah,
Misty
right.
Step, man.
what do you
he's
mean?
gotta-
But
He's
Misty
got at
Step?
least one more.
You can do
No, but
multiple
the
Misty
thing
Steps?
is- No, he only gets one a day.
Is it only one a day?
It's only one a day. But the thing is that they wouldn't be able to catch up with him. He would
Really?
always be a little ahead of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose if I dashed, yeah, it would be 60 feet movement per round.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
But-
And they have Eridu to contend with, and I'm
Okay.
in the opposite.
all right.
direction.
Okay. I hear you, my players. I fucking hear you. So
So
look,
we'll
like,
do
we'll
one
do.
grapple for me.
Shh,
Yeah,
hush,
let's
hush.
let our GM decide what's
Hush.
going to happen here.
I'm just gonna go ahead and like go with the more like cinematic kind of thing. I'm gonna disregard the fact that it was just the guards' turn right now and they were totally gonna fuck your shit up. I'm gonna disregard that and say like little scampery Alton and little Misty Steppy On can do their sneaky things that they want to do. That's fine. But Eridu, your ass is in chains
Oh yeah.
and you are
There's no
being
way.
taken off to jail. And I guess that is where we are going to be ending this session. Eridu's
We
in
are going
jail.
to end with our GM getting a little salty.
Ah,
I was okay with
It's-
the grapple.
hey, I'm just saying. I wanted to fuck your shit up. You're absolutely right, Calypso Fever. I wanted to fuck
That's
your
exactly
shit up.
what Kyle wanted to do.
And second of all, we brought up a good point earlier. When your whole gaming group is all GMs, you're gonna have some funny shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I guess we'll leave it at that. Guys, please join us. Thanks for watching. Please join us next week at 12 Pacific time for the concluding. I don't know if it's going to be one more session, perhaps another session after that. Just kind of depends on the pacing. But we're definitely getting to the concluding juiciest episodes, sessions of this. So, yeah. Any last thoughts?
Thank you for joining us. This has been a great crowd. Chat was super active, and I loved it.
Loved it. Please keep heckling us.
I'm chalking all of my bad rolls up to Eridu. Just he's probably within some kind of like withdrawal.
He is withdrawing pretty hardcore right now. Let's be
at
honest.
the very least, he's coming down because he's definitely.
Yeah, he's a shade of his former self. That is a gentle way to put it.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back again next week.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
YouTube, man. Okay, so.
Oh, yes.
Josh, you got it up there. You pitched this one. You let him know.
Oh, okay. So I did. I have uploaded on YouTube session 2, episode 1. We're splitting them into 2 parts, so they're about an hour and a half-ish a piece. The session 1, part 1, and part 2 are up currently. It's taking me forever to upload them, so it's kind of going slowly-ish. Yeah, they're going to be up. Hopefully by the time that next week comes around, we'll have all of the old ones up. So anything that people have missed, you can catch up on all the things that are going on, except for our prologue session and our first session.
Ooh,
because neither one of them, or not first session, first episode. Sorry, prologue episode and our.
Would be great for that, dude, is if someone wanted to like compile just like a, I don't know, like almost like a story or like a short story version where you just kind of like go through all the main events that happened. So
yeah,
it's just like a little...
it was my game. I could probably take a second and record a video that explains what happened during episode 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are getting backlog episodes up on YouTube for everyone to watch and catch up with all the shenanigans. It'd be great.
And it'll put it in playlist order. Top oldest episode, bottom newest episode.
For
so
sure.
you can just turn it on and walk away. I mean, then just not walk away. I mean,
and just get out of there.
We just want the viewers. I don't care what you guys are doing.
You can just turn it on and and just let it go. You don't have to worry about like watching it, like worrying about it, because like the way that a lot of them do, like you hit the oldest episodes next.
For sure.
So,
all right. Well, yes. Thank you guys very much. Hope you had a good one. Keep having a good one, and we'll see you next week.